The Monica Makes It Happen podcast is proudly supported by Ponce Bank.
Hi, everybody, and you're watching the Monica Makes It Happen podcast powered by Ponce Bank. We love Ponce Bank. Thanks for supporting us and partnering with us. I have, a legend in our studios. He is a producer. I say, could you also produce some of my music? I don't have any music. I sing like a duck, but that's okay. We have, and it's long A, Daven, Prestige, Vanderpool. Thank you, known as Prestige.
Yes.
One of the producers extraordinaire of, incredible artists like, Biggie, legends like Biggie, Jay-Z, Diddy. And we're going to be talking about Diddy. I can't believe we're talking about Diddy, but we are. If that's not a tease, I don't know what is. And Joe, thank you for producing us today. We're in the very fancy podcast studios because we have a very fancy guest, Prestige. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's an honor. And I really appreciate you because I know all of the work. And actually, Cardi B, I almost forgot to mention Cardi B.
All right.
So you're going to get Cardi B on our show. Is that right?
Hopefully. I don't even know her.
I just put you on.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I do. I try to get the next guest, always the next. I'm always thinking the next show. But this show is going to be epic because I want to talk to you about being that magic producer that has created so many great hits. And you have a new podcast out yourself, which is called
Hit My Podcast.
Ooh, Hitman. It's 2 T's, 2 B's. We got to make that clear.
HITTMOB. That's what it is.
I love you made that really clear.
Yes.
And it's the Monica Makes It Happen podcast.
Yes.
Everything too, show, segment, we do all of it. But you know what I love about you is that you have such a range of artists. And when I was talking to you before, this is why we do the podcast. I want to hear about how you know it's going to be an epic hit because you have, let me read all the lists of hits. You are a hit maker. And when it comes to Jay-Z, because Jay-Z is one of my favorites, and I would love to have him on the show, Imaginary Players, you said that when you were producing it, you knew it was Jay-Z.
No, I actually made it for Jay-Z.
Excuse me. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't even know that. I made the track for him, because I can remember hearing the record from Renee and Angela. Mm-hmm. I like to thank them for allowing me to use it. Yeah. Renee and Angela.
Thank you, Renee.
Yes, for as a producer, I remember hearing the record. They had Imaginary Playmates on one of their albums, so I kind of liked the groove. I liked it. Then I was driving. Then it came to mind.
That's such a good idea to listen to music while you're driving.
Yeah,
I would do that if I was a music producer because that's when you hear most of your music. A lot of people do.
So so I heard the song Imaginary Playmates. And the next day I said, damn, Imaginary Player. I just flipped it. So I said in my mind, I said, well, damn, that'll be hot for Jay-Z. Uh-huh. So let me go and do it. So, I presented it. And,
Wait, how do you present to Jay-Z? I just need to know. You call him, you have a cell phone or... how do you do this? Just for a friend I want to know.
It's funny, I went up to Def Jam at the time. Def Jam.
Oh yes.
He was signed. He was at Def Jam at the time, and I was shopping the beat at that time, and I tried to get it to him, and it so happens that Irv Gotti was there that day, and he calls Jay-Z on the phone. And he plays the track over the phone to Jay-Z.
It's crazy.
And Jay-Z,
I love these moments.
Yeah.
And then what did Jay-Z say?
He said, "Yo, don't be selling my beat." The way he talks. So he heard it over the phone.
Yeah.
And you know what? Irv Gotti passed. And I think it was last year that he passed, and I never got to reach up to thank him for doing that. And, I wanted to know what inspired him to call Jay-Z.
Right.
Because I never told him to do that.
Wow. You never actually, so you wrote it for Jay-Z, but you never actually said call Jay-Z and he just did it.
Yes.
That is synergy. I always think that that's stuff like that when that happens, that's happened to me too.
Yes.
I think that means it was meant to be, right? It was meant to be.
Yes.
And it's changed your life. I mean, we were talking about money and stuff, and you were saying you're doing pretty good. And it's all because of these magic moments, but you created these magic moments.
Yes.
It comes from you. I mean, you're the producer. So.
As people don't know, it's two parts: the music and the artist. Some people just think it's just the artist. No, is the
Oh, Joe, do you hear that? See, it's the producer. It's not just the artist. I agree. I think if you have a good producer, this guy, like, you could make it to the top. You know,
yeah, because
you need producing. Okay,
it's two halves in the song.
Yeah.
So you need the music to complement the artist, so people could connect more. I don't know. Everybody don't listen to music the same.
Yeah.
I always know that people connect to the music first, then the artist. So if the music doesn't grab them, if they're not feeling it, they probably won't be interested in hearing the rest of the song.
Mm-hmm.
So the music to me is the most important element. And today, I guess we shifting away from that today.
Yeah, we are.
We shifting away from that.
Yeah.
And these are the problems that we have today.
What I love is I was just talking to Leon, the Leon for my social media show, which I hope everyone's watching on Facebook. I've been doing it for years now. And Leon said the same thing, which a lot of people it's about the story. I've always felt it's about the story. So after the break, I want to hear more stories. Well, we're going to talk about P. Diddy. We're going to talk about P. Diddy, and we're going to talk, I don't know if we're going to break news here, but watch after the commercial break. All right, we're back with Prestige, who has worked with, well, everybody in the music business, from P. Diddy to Jay-Z, Cardi B. So let's talk about Diddy first. You said that you knew him as Puffy. Now there's a difference, obviously. Puffy is that before J-Lo? Or
that's around the same time. I guess it was the time, it was just a certain time period that he was more focused on the music. So coming up with the era of the 90s and everything, because that's the time we know him as Puff.
That was the golden time.
The golden age, yes.
And so tell me a little bit about that. People might be interested. I mean, I don't know what you want to share, but go ahead and spill it.
Well, first of all, I know, everybody can see what's so-called Diddy. That's the name that he goes by now. What he's going through right now.
Yeah.
And, I wish him, luck. I wish him good luck. And I would like to say to everyone that my experience with Puffy, also known as Diddy, was, everything, it could have been better, but I'm so grateful that he gave me the opportunity to work and to grow my craft. And, he helped it.
Can you share one story? Like, do you have a Diddy story that you still, to this day?
Yeah, I have a story, how I made the record Notorious. So,
oh my God, we love that record.
All right, so so he gets all the hitmen, because I was part of the hitmen.
Yeah.
He calls us to the Daddy's house. Was once the studio.
That's what he calls it, Daddy's house.
That was the Bad Boy studio.
Oh, okay.
Daddy's house.
Daddy's house. Okay.
At the time.
Okay.
So he calls all the hitmen to the studio. So he says, "All right, we're working on Biggie's next album." And we know by this time Biggie passed away.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure to do the music as Biggie was still here.
Oh, yeah.
So,
but how do you do that? I mean, he's like such a presence that was taken away.
Well, here's the thing too. I was upset that I didn't get on the double album, the one before that.
Oh.
So, and I was like, I don't know, like I didn't know as much as I needed to know at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time that he passed, unfortunately, I was able to come up with that record, Notorious, because when he told us that day, I went home and I started to think about what he said. He wanted to do music like he was still here.
Yeah.
So I went home and I looked at VH1 that night, and I saw Duran Duran's video.
Oh, I love Duran Duran. That brings me back.
Yeah.
To my younger days.
And it says, Notorious.
Yeah.
I said,
oh, that's where that came from. Yeah, so you came up with that?
No, it was Duran Duran came up with it.
But then you took it for...
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm sitting with the guy who came up with Notorious for that.
So I heard it. And at the time, remember the Mega Store? You remember the Mega Store? That was on the 42nd Street, right around here?
Yeah.
So I ran, you remember, like, there wasn't none of these things that's around, like, you couldn't download and get MP3s and all of that.
Yeah, not at that time, no.
So I had to go, jump on a train, go to the mega store, and get the Duran Duran Greatest Hits CD.
Oh, my God, yes.
And that was the song Duran Duran that was on it. You know,
I don't know if does Duran Duran know this? Like, have you ever?
Oh yeah, they
know
they
it.
know.
They get it.
They get a lion's share of the song for that.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They do?
They do.
How much do they? I always like the business angle. So how much do they get? The portion of every?
They, they took 90% of the song.
90%.
Yeah, and I find that that was kind of egregious because at the same time, I believe that, I couldn't just take their song and make it fit Biggie's world. Like it was a two different world thing.
Yeah.
So I had to find a way to, like, I said, how could I make this song? When I got home with the record and I heard it, I said, well, damn, like, it's kind of the way it wouldn't work for the
genre. Is that the word?
Well, yeah, the genre that it doesn't fit. It wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
Hey,
I could be a music producer. I want to try, but your favorite artist, can you tell me? I mean, I love Cardi B because she gives back so much to public housing and I see her all the time doing beautiful things. But who's your favorite artist that you've worked with? My favorite artist that I worked with was Heavy D. Mm-hmm.
My favorite
artist, love Heavy D.
Heavy D. And I actually did. Legend, like, and his name doesn't get mentioned enough.
And he's your favorite, right?
He's one of my favorite artists, yes.
That's so cool. And again, you're working on Hit Mob is your podcast. So we have the Monica Makes It Happen podcast, but you have the Hit Mob, 2 T's, 2 B's. It's on YouTube, right?
Yes.
So if you wanted to say something, go
yes.
ahead. Yeah.
HITTMOBB.
I know. You did the double T, double B. What's the story there?
The story there is this, just wanted to, like, we talk about music and we talk about life at the same time and the lifestyles. I
love that.
And yes.
I love that because I don't like to be pigeonholed either because I'm always known for housing and healthcare and giving money, which I love. I love to give money out, but it's about the story. It's always about the story. So when we come back, I always like to end our podcast with a speed round, and I'm always surprised by what's said. Maybe a little breaking news here, a little bit more Diddy. That's after this commercial. Okay, we're back, and we're back with Prestige. Prestige, I'm so happy that you came in studio.
Yes, because I'm happy too.
I'm old school. I like to actually see you when I do my podcast. I don't like to we do a lot of Zooms because we got to. Sometimes people can't come in. So thanks for coming in to our headquarters. What do you think of our studio? Isn't it beautiful?
Yes. Yes, it's very beautiful.
We got everything here. Anyway, let's go to our speed round. This is what I love the most. I love doing this because I always learn so much about the person. And I did not know that you were such a genius. I mean, I knew you were a music genius, but you're actually a genius when it comes to writing and storytelling.
Yes.
Is that necessary for being a producer, especially in the music business?
Oh, certainly, by far.
Yeah.
Like, you still got to put out things that, song ideas that people could connect to. So, and the biggest thing I see today, a lot of so-called producers are selfish. Because they just doing music that they think they're not. I always wanted to do music for everyone.
Wow.
So the music is very selfish today, and it's not working.
Deep. That's really deep because I think that is true. When you're selfless in the work that you're doing, it always does well. It doesn't even matter what it looks like. I always controversially say, like, at least for the television stuff that I do, if your heart is trying to help, then normally people will support you. They'll find you so obviously that's worked for you, working with the best. So maybe that is something true. But business, I want to talk I always like to talk business because we are Ponce Bank, sponsored by Ponce Bank. Tell me a little bit about your business, maybe suggestions. Like now knowing what you know, obviously you said you did very well, so you can't complain. What do you tell someone coming up in the music industry or starting their own business? What's some of the big advice that you can give from your own experience?
Well, I know these days is very challenging. Before,
And it's getting worse, you said, right?
Oh yeah,
You feel it's
because
getting
like
worse.
remember when I started, there was like a barrier and you had to cross it, and we had to, you know, at the time I was doing it, I had to go buy equipment, and it was like the buy-in to do music was a lot of money back then. Like, you know, close to $10,000 if you wanted to
Just
do
to
it.
start.
Just
yeah.
to start, because you had to buy certain pieces of equipment
Yeah.
to say you're a producer. Now everything is online and easy access, and, you know, everybody has a mic in a house, and it's so like
Everybody has a podcast. I mean, come on. Let's
nothing
just
is
say.
special no more.
Yeah. So how do you stand out? Like, what is your suggestion of standing out? I mean, you have all these hits. What would you suggest?
Well, you know what, too? Like, here's the thing we getting away from. To me, music is a calling. Everybody's not meant to do it. And then everybody's not meant to do this.
Did you just say that? I've been thinking that. I'm like, oh, we don't talk about it enough. But sometimes if you got it, you got it. And there's
That's
not,
it.
how are you supposed to teach that? How are you supposed to channel that unless
You can't.
I talked to Leon about that. He's like the same thing. He's like, sometimes you got to have it. Do you tell someone that?
I don't know. That the
Or-
it, we know no one ever figured out the formula to it.
No. What is the it factor? We don't know. All right. So I lost track of my questions here. All right. So quickly, best business advice?
Best business advice, you know, really find out if this is your path and this is what you
How
are
do
supposed
you do
to
that,
do.
though? It's just a gut. You know. Come on.
Well,
like,
I don't know.
right?
Everybody gut into the same, you know.
That's true.
Everybody,
Yeah.
you know.
But I realize sometimes when you're in the flow,
Yeah.
that's where you're supposed to be.
Well,
like
you know,
if you're
the best way I see to figure out is like people's reactions when they hear it.
ooh,
That's the best way I can, you know,
that's good.
I can discern. And one more thing I wanted to add
Yeah.
about my podcast. I do it with my partner, Baby Paul.
Yeah.
That's Paul Hendricks, aka Baby Paul. That's my partner. We both do the podcast.
Yeah.
And you know, and I want to give a shout out to my my boy Rob from Polaris
Yeah.
Fast Channel for making this all happen.
Very nice. Polaris. Okay. Very
Yes.
good. Okay. Next question. Dream dinner guest. Like, who would you love to have dinner with? I don't know why I just came up with this, but
Dream-
I just pulled that one out. Okay.
You know what? You know, I actually met him, and he passed away.
Oh,
Quincy Jones.
of course. Quincy Jones would be such a great dinner
Quincy
guest.
Jones.
What would
like,
you ask him? Like you'd ask him about?
Oh, I have. It's a
whole
ton.
laundry
It's a whole
list.
laundry
Well,
list.
you know, I
It's
had
a book
lunch.
this thick.
Can I tell you, I just had lunch with Dionne Warwick, and that was my dream lunch, and it came true. I manifested it. Yes, I did. I'm not going to tell you who else was there, but it was a big mogul was there. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
If you know, you know. The song that reminds you of home, of your childhood.
Off the top of my head,
Yeah.
I gotta go with Stevie Wonder.
Oh,
Like, he has so many.
yeah.
I wish.
I wish.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember the song as a kid. So like Stevie Wonder, certain artists is just creates a soundtrack of your life.
It's classic. Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't she lovely? I know.
Yes.
Okay. So beat that you can't live without. Maybe your favorite song that you made.
Oh, my favorite song,
The song that you made.
Imaginary Player.
Of course. I knew you
Yeah,
were going to
because
say that.
I mean,
I knew you were going to
it
say that.
happens to be, you know, I could say this proudly. Like, it was the song "Imaginary Player" was never supposed to be a single, but it happened to be one to Jay-Z, to hardcore Jay-Z fans, one of his biggest records, and everybody always refers to him as that record. And I was proud that I was able to do that.
Yeah.
Besides all the people that came after me that produced it.
That's so huge. And
Yes.
then Cardi B's next. Is that right? Are you?
No,
is there,
I didn't
who's
produce.
next?
I didn't produce that.
What's
Someone,
the Cardi B thing? What
the
do you-
Cardi B, some they sampled my song.
Oh, so
Yes.
So if Cardi B's watching,
Yeah.
you'd love to work with Cardi B.
Oh yeah, I love to walk.
yeah. Who wouldn't want?
Cardi should have came to me to do the song. It would have been way better. I would have made it last longer.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right. You're saying that
Yes.
here. Hopefully she doesn't see this. But anyway, next podcast. Who should I have on my next? Are you gonna say Baby Paul?
Huh?
But who should be on my next podcast? What do you think would be a good guest? I always ask that just because I want to book my next podcast usually and have a suggestion.
maybe someone in tech to show people how to.
What a great idea.
Yes.
Like I've just been thinking we need another AI show. We did a half-hour AI show and it was so good. I met the Latina, because I always like to have Latinos on the show or doing incredible things. She came up with Alexa, the voice of Alexa, and that whole, just voice activated prompting. And then she had this special thing in her ear that was, I don't want to say it's reading your mind, but it definitely was something that, and I think they have it now for sale, but back then it was kind of cool. It was a few years ago. And she was like able to talk and prompt it just through her thoughts and her mind. Isn't that scary?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. So like,
Joe, how are we doing on time? We're okay? Yeah. Joe's listening because he's producing. And what do you think of that? I mean, we are in the realm of AI and music. What final thoughts, future music?
Future music? I mean, it's still like, to me, music is always spiritual, because if it don't hit them, it's like they never heard it.
Yeah.
Even though it's playing in the background loudly, if it don't hit them, they never heard it. And it doesn't, it's more of a memory thing. So the best songs that people create lives in people's minds, rent free. Wow. That's all it is.
And there is a spiritual element to it, isn't it?
Oh yeah, because like, James Brown was way before my time. He was before me, like James Brown. And as a kid, I felt what he was doing. Mm-hmm. And I remember playing the records as a kid.
Yeah.
And still loving his music.
Yeah.
So the real art transfers, like, it don't matter when you do it, as long as you do it right. And it will last. And that's what people really need to understand about music.
I love it. I love it. Spoken from a legend. I did interview James Brown.
You
early
did?
in my career. Yes, I did. I'm that old. In Atlanta, Georgia. I'll never forget. He was at the Capitol, and I had a show called Lawmakers at another network. And he was at the Capitol, and I got a one-on-one with him. He sang Georgia to me. Can you believe that? And there were protesters outside, because at the time he was under fire for something personal that was going through his life. We don't have to re-rack that. But anyway, but it was just a moment in time where I was there with James Brown. And it was an incredible experience. That's just what's great about this job.
And then you got to understand, to me, James Brown was the most important figure in music ever, because how much people sample his music and how much people leaned on him to use his material for their songs. So, we'll never have an artist like that have that kind of impact in the business like that again.
It's incredible. Thank you, Prestige. I could talk to you for hours here.
Yes.
And we probably will.
Yes.
You'll be back.
Yes.
I have a feeling you'll be back. And thank you for being in our studios, our streaming studios at Pix 11.
Thank you too.
Let's keep making it happen together. See you guys next time.
Yes.